Time to set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe till the fight's lost. You ain't never like the room with the bright sauce. Hail Mary, they despise what the light brought. Let them roach niggas bleed if they can't see. sa.neter TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, it need me or love, yeah, that's just me. Keep them jumping like some frogs, so they might be leave when the sun set. And they don't really wanna bleed from the gunplay. And like mine, niggas smoking weed on the one-way street, nigga. Yeah, we see we outside with it. Pull up to debates like we might be with it on guard. Some these niggas like bullshit and they fraud. Let me chop them down with the sword. Walk them down like they little boys.
All right, peace and blessings to my brother, Conrad Tillerd in the building. What up, brother? How you been? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm gonna pull over.
Okay.
I'm on the highway coming
What is
back.
that? The convertible joint you brought out?
I'm pulling over right now.
Okay. Okay.
I want to hear, brother sa.neter. Are we live yet?
Yeah, we live right now. The people coming to hear
We're
you.
already live. Okay. Well, I'm pulling over. I'll pull over in 1 second.
Yes. Go ahead. Take your time, man. Don't rush.
Coming back from a brother's funeral, and
yeah.
I'm gonna pull over right now, and I can hear you, and we can get started.
Okay.
It's always a pleasure to see you. Haven't
Same
seen you
here,
in a
man.
while. Before I saw you in Harlem, but we go back many, 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 many years.
That's right. Many years, man.
To both of our infancy. We were young men in the struggle. Now we're village elders.
Right. Hey, I got Herman Smalls gonna pull up in a minute too. You know Herman Smalls. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Yep.
Herman Smalls is a Harlem legend.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. Well, I'm just quiet now. I'm whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. So that's good. Let me see where's Herman at, because I don't want him to miss nothing. Where we have to go through this all over again.
Okay.
We was just live doing the show, getting the people ready for you.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I hope they had the courage to stay on.
Peace.
Brother, we live waiting on you. I'm holding him up to wait on you now.
Oh no, I mean you can start. I was going to call Mr. Carter, but okay, you want me to come in right now?
Yeah. Don't call Mr. Carter right now.
Please let Mr. Carter know we're on. Or text him or something.
Exactly. So all right, so Nate, give me 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, got you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so brother, let's start it. Let's take it from the top, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's tell the people. Oh, I want to wait till you go ahead and park.
Well, I'm just gonna pull over right here.
Yeah. Let's do that.
And I'm just gonna pull over right here. And certainly I'm here today as just a brother. I do not speak for the mayor. I do not speak for him, but I wholeheartedly and enthusiastically support him. And I think it's very important that we as Black people support our brother. And so I'm here today exhorting, encouraging, cajoling, but also scolding Black people who I see running around here talking about Cuomo. And then there are others talking about Zoran. And I'm saying, wait a minute. This is a brother that we've known for 40 years. We knew him as the president, head of the Guardians Association. We knew him as the head of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Cares. And whether it was Yusuf Hawkins being killed, or Michael Griffith, Michael Stewart being killed, or the attack on Mosque number 7. You name it. Patrick Dorsman, Amadou Diallo, Eleanor Bumpus. Where has there ever been a struggle that we were at that Mayor Eric Adams was not there with Graham Witherspoon and Michael Graves and Noel Leader and Mark Claxton and Billups. We know these people. These are friends, and Eric has ascended to, head the city, and I think he's done by every objective measure a good job. And one thing Black people in New York have shown is that we love to fault find with Black leadership, and I'm afraid that there are too many doing that right now.
Mhm.
That's why I'm here. So you can ask any question. I'll take any question, and I'm ready to throw down.
All right, family. I need y'all to come in, hit this like button so we could get this algorithm going. Brother Conrad,
Yes, sir.
talk to us. Excuse me. Talk to us about why Adams. At first, I was hard on the brother. At
Okay.
first, when he first came in, because I was seeing him letting all of these people come into our community. But then when I seen what he was doing for Harlem, I even spoke to Herman Smalls. So me and him used to go at it all the time. He's pro Adam, and I was anti Adam. So we would have these arguments and debates. And I'm saying, damn, I had to call Herman Smalls and say, yo, I think I'm changing my mind on Adams, man. Because I see what he did for Harlem on 125th Street. Anybody else, any other race or color or creed would have got up in there. They wouldn't have been doing that for Harlem. He shut down the whole thing for a whole day, brother, and allowed the people to have fun, bringing in a lot of people, brother. You know,
And not only that, but
not only that,
let's look at it. Mayor Dinkins, God bless him, rest his soul.
yeah,
He was New York's first Black mayor in 400 years. And the thing we got to remember is, Dinkins was the first, and he had a very rough tenure. He barely beat Giuliani in '89. And of course, New York was very racially charged at that time, you remember. And so it was very hard for him to do for our community. He did a lot, but when you look at what Eric Adams has done, it's even more. First Black woman to ever head the New York City Police Department, largest police department in America. Eric appointed her, Keishant Sewell. First Latino man to head that department. Okay, first Black woman, deputy mayor from Harlem, Sheena Wright, born in the South Bronx, a Harlem resident. Second Black chancellor of New York City Public Schools, David Banks. All kind of highly placed chief of staff, and now the first deputy mayor, Camille Joseph, out of Bedford-Stuyvesant. Ingrid Martin, who was his top political advisor, sister out of East New York. So, and what I'm saying is, Eric has done a lot. If most Black people look around, they will see that it's probably 1 degree of separation between Eric's administration and somebody from their community. And I think he's been a great mayor for the immigrant community. That's why he has a lot of immigrant Muslims that support him from Africa and Asia. I think he's been a great mayor and supportive of the Jewish community. That's why a lot of them support him. I think the Hindus and Buddhists, he's brought them in the fold, but he never forgot about Black people. And that's something that we cannot forget. The other thing is this: we are not voting on who is the perfect Black leader. We're not even voting on who's the city councilman in Harlem or Bed-Stuy. We're not voting on who is the representative of the Harlem community. He's the mayor of the whole city. So we can't expect that he's not going to look after other folks. The main thing we want to know is that he
right,
doesn't forget about us. And he
right.
has not done that. He's been a mayor to everybody, but there has been a strong Black presence in his administration. And so to me, what Black people should be saying is, when I can show you a picture of Washington, D.C., I can show you a picture of 7 contiguous Black mayors, okay? I can show you Atlanta. I posted a video, 8 contiguous Black mayors. And in New York, with all of our consciousness, sometimes we overanalyze. We have what Jesse Jackson called a paralysis of analysis. And we have not been able to reelect a black mayor. We fought found with Dinkins, and we didn't reelect him. We got Giuliani, and it took us 35 years to get another black man in office. So I don't know what other folks are doing, but I know one thing. I'm voting for black empowerment. I'm voting for Michael Garner, the black brother that's in Harlem, walks around that community. You all know Michael Garner. He's in 100 Black Men. He's at Abyssinian Baptist Church. He's all former union brother. He's over $25 billion. He manages that fund for minority and women business. So this is what I'm voting for. To me, it's not even a question, because if you don't vote for Eric, that means you're voting for Cuomo. Cuomo has been a bully. He bullied Governor Patterson out of office. He bullied Charlie King from running for office. He has a consistent pattern. He bullied and humiliated Carl McCall. And so we know what he does. And so he's trying to do that today. Here's a man that resigned in office, 22 accusations of sexual harassment. He resigned ahead of being impeached and charged in disgrace. Why would we even consider voting for him? And then, of course, Zoran Mandami. Now, you don't know this in Harlem because I give Keith Wright, the county leader of Manhattan, credit, because he's kept the socialists out of Harlem. And so you got a strong Cordell Clare, who is the senator in Harlem. And you got young Jordan Wright coming up, the assemblyman, and brother Yusef Salam, they're coming up. And so Harlem has not seen the kind of gentrification and the kind of political gentrification that Central Brooklyn has, but they have eviscerated Central Brooklyn, taken over Fort Greene, taken over Clinton Hill, now taking over Bed-Stuy, Ocean Hill, all the way out to Brownsville. And so we've got to stand up. And that's why I stand with Eric, because the choice to me is very clear.
Brother Herman.
I definitely concur with much of what my good brother Tillerd has just stated. And sa.neter, I've been on board with brother Eric Adams for
I was
a minute.
just telling him. I was just telling him
that.
before you came in. I said, me and you go back and forth.
Yeah.
You was pro, and I was the car against Adams. You was pro Adams, and we used to go back and forth. Remember, I called you the last time I talked to you. I said, "Yo, I think you were right about Adams, brother." Yeah.
And let me give you some of the reasons. See, the thing is, it's no personality thing. Let's look at the numbers, man.
Right.
Let's look at the numbers and the initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was the mayor that initiated vegan food in the public school system.
That's right. That's right.
Vegan food. Veganism is among the highest nutrition available in public schools. Who's in public schools, sa.neter? Our people are the majority in there.
That's
and I've mentioned about NYCHA. The project, he had an initiative that brought Wi-Fi there.
Free Wi-Fi. That's right.
Exactly. Closing the digital divide.
That's right.
Who's in the project, sa.neter? Our people. His most recent initiative is getting laptops to them.
Absolutely.
And crime is down. The numbers reflect that. The last thing I want to mention on what he's given to a people that in many instances are not voting like that. So he must have some affinity for them. If he's looking out for them and we're not really storming the polls, maybe we will this time. But a moment of silence. He's allowing our young people to come into the public school system, and before they even do anything, take a moment to center themselves. And the kind of impact that's had on things like teenage suicides and all the stresses that our young people are going through. So again, in a public school institution, this has been one of his initiatives. So yes, I'm very much on board with what he's done. And yes, we should support him. But now let's look at, and that's why I definitely want to ask Minister Tillerd, some of this. about politics. And even, like you stated, the bully, and how clearly we identify Cuomo as a bully. Now, we know our brother Adams is not even running on the Democratic line right now. And we have forgotten that it was a Democratic administration under Biden that put his entire administration, Eric Adams, through a stop
Right.
and frisk for uppity
Right.
Negroes. He went into his cabinets' homes to seize their phones, to seize their laptops. That was the Justice Department signed off by Biden. So,
That's right.
so again, so the bully, what's a bigger bully than that? Then
Absolutely.
only our second black mayor, and he ran down him on that, but he got his footing and still tried to keep it together. And for most, he is able to. So as we expand, Minister Dillon, I want us to look at, you mentioned some great names. I know our sister Cardell, she is, female warrior, and she's always on point on some very serious issues.
Now,
I
hold
know.
on. What's the sister name that just went through the case? I don't know what happened to it, but her and her son. They talked
Yeah.
about.
So let me address that, because Carmen raised some very important points. Well, the first thing I want to say about that is,
Your mic sounds a little messed up now. Your mic is a little messed up.
Is that my mic? I kept wanting.
Yeah.
Let me move, because I don't know why that all of a sudden started happening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's chopping up.
Maybe that's the air. Let me put this top up. So the first thing, let me say this. Not only has the mayor put broadband in NYCHA, not only has the mayor done the many things that you just outlined, Herman, but also, let's not forget, he just took 25,000 guns off the street. Whose lives are those guns off the street going to save? But black and brown young people. He reduced the cost of child care from $50 to basically zero. He has done so many. There's so many initiatives that the mayor has implemented.
Yeah, your mic still sounds a little messed up, choppy. I think you should go out and come back in. Go out and come back in.
All right, let me go out and come right back in. I don't know what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
And as he's correcting that, again, all of those initiatives, guns off the street. Now, when the brother comes back, I want to bring up another dynamic. sa.neter, you probably know this. Recently, one of the founders of Harlem Week passed away. This was Elder Noun ancestor Lloyd Williams.
Yeah.
And all the local bigwigs came out. Letitia James, Reverend Al Sharpton. We had our VA there. Eric Adams was there as well. Now, there was a little bit of tension that I kind of detected between, I think, Reverend Sharpton and Eric, and maybe not.
Adam.
Yes, but in Reverend Sharpton's speech or words during that time, he spoke of leadership, and we don't need no punks. We need leadership that's going to stand up to this kind of tyranny. So it's not a lot to know who he was shooting at. And Brother Tillerd, you clear? Take him out, brother. See if he's clear.
Yeah, your sound is real bad, man.
I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm moving from this spot.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds like it's clearing up. It was perfect now.
Yeah, it was perfect at the beginning.
That might.
Yeah, this is important. We need your sound right, man.
I'm going to go out one more time.
All right.
And give it. Politics is a contact sport.
See,
so,
that's why I told him we could have drove over to where he was at and did it live, it would have been better.
Well, if for whatever reason, if we don't get this straight, I don't know where he's on his way. I'll meet him there. Let's get this done, because I got to hear this brother's views. Yeah. Especially now. This is a critical period, man. Our people need clear information.
But don't forget, I want you to be the one to take him back into history, but bring him back up. Don't leave him back there, because he ain't like that. When I asked him about the history, he said, man, I don't mind telling my history, But don't leave me back there. I've been out of the nation for like 30 years. So, he want to talk about what he's doing today. What he's doing today.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You
That's
know,
what I'm saying. Man. We got to touch on so many things. What did I say on when you dropped the link on your last line? His history runs straight through Harlem's most tumultuous years, man. So he was on the front line for some of the most serious undertakings here.
Yep.
And you already mentioned he had to step into brother Dr. Khalid's boots.
Yo,
when
you gotta tell me who is this new brother, man, from Mars number 7. I don't. You have you have pictures of everybody, bro.
I'm gonna send you a picture. When you see him, you're gonna know him because he's from the community.
Okay.
And that, as I said on the last bill, that's what I admire about the Nation of Islam. They promote from within. You know, they get a brother who's got that time and who's been putting in. Did that with brother Hafiz Muhammad. So now brother Arthur Muhammad is following in that tradition, and he's been local and vocal about the most important issues. He supports the Marcus Garvey Parade every year, and our Queen Mother, Sister Yah, the administrator of the African Nationalist Pioneer Movement. He attended her event that she holds every Marcus Garvey Day. So that brother has been boots on the ground in the most important things. I'm surprised you don't. Well, they all have Muhammad as the last name. And I guess Arthur, I don't know a lot of brothers.
I know him when I see him.
Of course you would.
Yeah, because once I find out who he is, I got to go and interview him. I interviewed all the ministers for Mars number 7, man.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't been on there yet. I'm going to put a feeler out because, my daughter goes to MUI. So the next time, matter of fact, she starts school next week, I'm going to ask one of the brothers, can brother Arthur Muhammad set up to sit down with brother sa.neter? The community wants to know what's his vision for Mosque number 7.
Let's hope it's better.
Yeah.
Man, it sounds way better. Good.
Oh, it does?
Okay. Great. So we're back. And all right. Excellent. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yes, brother Tillerd. Minister Tillerd, yes, we can.
So what I was, saying, and I think it's very important that, when you look at the list of wins, built more housing than both affordable housing than both Bloomberg's 3 terms and de Blasio's 2. All right. These are wins of the Adams administration.
Yeah, it's messing up again, man. It's messing up again. I told you we probably should have met up. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Do you think you'll be in Harlem tomorrow, or we're out?
This has never happened. I don't even know what's going on. This has never happened before. All right, so I'm gonna try to.
Yeah, it's messing up bad.
Brother Tillerd, are you at least able to hear well? Do you hear us well?
Nah, I want him to talk though. The people got to hear him.
Oh, right, but I wanted to put a question to him while he's working through that, and maybe once it opens up, he can answer because we do have him here. Can you hear us, brother Tillerd?
Hold on one second.
Because maybe he can't hear us either.
Never happened before, so I don't know what's going on. Okay. All right, I'm standing up now, so maybe it's something in the car. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Nah, the mic is messed up. It's messed up. When are you coming to Harlem or halfway? Because we could meet up. We could meet up like tomorrow or something and really get this thing in. Herman will definitely be with me. I know you want to get it in now.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I don't know what's going on. This never happened before. But yeah, we can get back tomorrow. Maybe
brother Minister Tillerd, are you able to hear us? Are you able to hear us? Are you able to hear us, brother Tillerd?
I can hear you, but I am hearing that static, and I don't know.
You hear it too. So okay. Before. All right. So then it is affecting both ways. He can't hear clearly or be able to be heard clearly. So
not yours. You want to try again? Is it yours? Is it coming from home?
Could it be sa.neter?
No, No, it's not, because you would have been messed up. I would have been messed up.
Come back in.
Yeah, try that. Try that again. Or you know what? Do you have any place around you like McDonald's or anything where you could probably use their Wi-Fi? I see you got Dunkin' Donuts right there.
Let's just eliminate everything.
Say that again.
I said if Herman could go out and come back in, let's try to eliminate everything.
All right, let's
I
see.
don't know what's going on. I've never experienced this before.
You know what, sa.neter, that might work because yo were doing good before I came in, right?
Go ahead out.
All right, let me go out. But if it goes out and it gets clear, okay, I will. But keep on asking the brother. All right, I'm gonna go out right now.
Oh, I'll come back in.
Okay, sa.neter.
No, it's still the same.
Oh, it's still going on. Okay.
What kind of phone you rocking with? iPhone?
All right. Yeah, I have an iPhone 16. So.
Yeah, it should be working though. I don't know why, man. It should be on them. Should be working. I don't know what's going on.
Want to go out and come back in, sa.neter?
No, it ain't me, man. It's not me, bro. It's not me.
Well, this has never happened to me before, and I'm on Yard Stream all the time. I don't know what.
Yeah, it ain't me.
Right. Well, let's call me in a bit, and we'll start it again.
I hear good now. Now I hear you. I hear you good.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what was going on.
Oh, you know what? Turn your camera off. That's the problem, I think. Turn your camera off. Turn the camera off.
What'd you say?
Turn off your camera. Turn off the camera. Yeah. All right. Now talk to me. All right. Yeah. Keep going on. No, it's better. It's better.
Is it better? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it's way better.
Keep the camera on. I just don't understand. It's never happened before on Yard Stream, so that's very weird. So anyway, if you can hear me, that's great.
Yes, I can hear you better. Way better.
Yeah, because it's very important. What we're trying to get African Americans to see is that, we've got a choice to make. And this is not a choice. We're not voting on who is the Messiah. We're not voting on who is the ultimate black leader. We're not voting on who's going to lead us to the promised land. The only thing we're trying to do is decide out of the three candidates who will be better for black people. I'm glad Herman brought up all of the controversy. The reason why the people don't know the mayor's record is because the media is in love with Zoran, and the media has been against Mayor Adams since he had the gall to go to Washington during the migrant crisis and say to President Biden, you have to fix the border. See, that broke the script of the Democratic Party. They told him to be quiet and be a good Democrat. And he went and met the buses. He met the migrant buses. He met them. And I tell you, one of the smartest, best moves any politician ever made was when that old governor from Texas sent the migrants up here. He said, if y'all want to be sanctuary cities, I'm gonna send these people to you. And Mayor Adams, like most Democratic mayors, he met them. He was there the first day. But after spending $7 billion of New York City's money, $7 billion taking care of immigrants and migrants that the Biden administration was responsible for, he went to the White House and said, listen, we can't afford to keep doing this. You got to fix the border. And when he went to Washington, that's when they sent the
Just to finish that story, if he got cut, is your mic going, Minister Tillerd?
Yes, everything. Yes, his mic is good.
Yeah, we've seen Bob Menendez over in New Jersey that just got convicted. Gold bars in the refrigerator, cash. What is Adams accused of doing? Taking some upgrades when he was borough president 6 years before, and then making a call to the Turkish embassy, to the fire department, asking them to give him a read on how long it would take to get the Turkish embassy open. I mean, anybody who's ever had a restaurant or a business in Harlem knows that you can get your whole restaurant together, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that CTO stops you. That's bureaucracy. He was just trying to let them know how long it would be before they could get their embassy open. That's what mayors do. They're supposed to facilitate. And I doubt very seriously. First of all, that's one of the things that people have to understand, because they start telling this lie on Eric that he's Trump's puppet, and that's why Trump dropped the charges. Well, if he was Trump's puppet, why is Trump trying to get him to drop out for Andrew Cuomo? I mean, a lot of times we don't make sense in the things that we are saying. If Eric Adams was the puppet of Andrew of Donald Trump, then why is Donald Trump right now pushing for Eric Adams to get out so that Andrew Cuomo can run? And so we have to be able to have the analytical ability to analyze independently and know and understand that these folks do not like this power in black hands. And so they're going to try to undermine. And we have to make sure that we are not a part of the undermining of our own political empowerment and enfranchisement. I mean, when you think about the fact that no mayor in the history of New York has ever been indicted but Eric Adams. Really? New York is the home of Tammany Hall, Boss Tweed, the most corrupt political organizations in the history of America. The definition of political corruption was defined by the Boss Tweed organization, and none of them ever got indicted. Jimmy Walker, they say he would come to work at 12 noon, put his feet up on the desk, and ask his secretary, were there any checks in the mail? And when there were none, he would leave the office. New York has been known for having corrupt mayors. And so the question is, how come the only mayor ever indicted in the 400-year history of this city is a black mayor? It just doesn't make sense. And so, yes, I'm standing up for Eric.
You
I'm
make
standing up.
you make great points, brother minister. Now, you are engrossed and ingrained in Harlem history as much as I am. And
Yes, sir.
I'm at 661. I think the last time I ran into you was either at our brother's funeral. This was a few years. Carl Redding. I know I had run into
Oh,
you
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
also, I ran into you because my daughter goes to MUI, and I
Okay.
was dropping her
Okay.
off there once.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you said Smalls, your daughter goes. No, you said, is that your granddaughter? So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
and I like, no, brother, that's my daughter. But
Well, Sister
so
Melissa and I were blessed to reestablish MUI back in 1993, and Sister Melissa is still there running the school. But we revived MUI in Harlem in 1992 or 1993. Yeah, beautiful.
awesome. Because if you didn't, I wouldn't have had any place to take my
That's
daughter.
that's a that's a that's
Because
that's a blessing.
you know what the public schools are asking us to do our
Absolutely,
children before they even
absolutely.
walk in the door. So I want to give you, that's just a drop of the props that you deserve and how
Yes,
you've
sir.
been standing on principle since you've been here. But again, dealing with Harlem, man. Now I know our people can be misled or sometimes we'll go in different directions, but we do have to look at the leadership. And I'm pretty certain one of the founders of Harlem Week recently passed, Brother Lloyd Williams, and they had a service for him that brought out all of the local big wigs. Letitia James, Eric Adams was there, Reverend Al Sharpton, our first black DA, and I mentioned that to just to give the background. They all came up and obviously singing the praises of our now ancestor, Brother Lloyd Williams.
Hmm.
But Sharpton took his opportunity. to make some statements related to politics. And one of his references were, we at a time where we need leadership that's going to stand up for us. We don't need punks right now. This is an exact quote. Now, I mean, you don't got to be a rocket scientist to know who he was taking that shot at. And again, Eric Adams was sitting right there. He was one of the speakers. So I think there's a level of infighting that
Well,
we
I
need
don't know.
to get clear on.
Well,
I'm sorry,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know because first of all, I don't know who he's talking about because I don't know a punk in Eric Adams. I know that when Sharpton and myself and Alton Maddox and Vernon Mason and Dr. Jeffries and Brother Smalls and Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark, I know every struggle we fought at, Eric was there. But the difference between Eric and us, the difference between sa.neter and Khaled, uh, Eric was with us at all the struggles, but guess what? He had to then, next morning, he had to wake up and go to work with the same police officers that he was protesting against. That doesn't sound like a punk to me. That sounds like a strong man because I never had to go into a precinct and work in my life depending on colleagues when I had been at a rally decrying police brutality. So I don't think he meant Eric Adams. And one thing's for certain, we know that Zoran Mandami has no track record. He may be a political punk. And we know Andrew Cuomo is a bully, and all bullies are punks. And when you punch them in the nose, you really see that. So I don't know. I mean, I know people are making different decisions and calculations, but I'm really not concerned about the big leaders. I mean, sometimes our leaders, unfortunately, have political consideration. They have job considerations. They getting their money from certain places. And so you have to remember the white liberal media, the MSNBCs, they are against Eric Adams because they are against Trump. And for them, they don't care anything about black municipal empowerment. All they care about is fighting Trump at every level. And for some reason, and you watch it. Now, they won't take the same position with Cuomo. Cuomo, by every news account, he is Trump's candidate. But you don't hear Negroes saying he's a puppet of Trump, and you don't hear the white left saying that. Well, why do you say it to black people? Two reasons. They always want to keep us on the Democratic plantation. Okay, and you have to remember that. And Eric is running as an independent. And so that's threatening to the white left. That's threatening to the progressives because they want to keep us on the Democratic plantation. So the same people that just because the Justice Department, Eric didn't even know Trump. He saw him at the Al Smith dinner with everybody else. And because Trump felt that he was politically persecuted, he said of Eric, I think you got a bad deal. And I agree with him. Now, he also said that about Kwame Kilpatrick, who got 28 years for nothing. And he pardoned Kwame, commuted his sentence, and Kwame's home today. So my point is, black people got to stop being so obsessed with what white liberals say. We have to have our own interests, and our interests are not being met and talked about on MSNBC. This is a local municipal race. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with Trump, has nothing to do with Palestine. It's got to do with who's going to be the commissioners, who's going to manage the trillions of dollars of New York, who's going to be in positions, who's going to, every ethnic group in this city has worked within the patronage political system in New York City. The Irish grew strong. The Italians grew strong. The Jewish community grew strong through city government. And now this is the first time that black people have had a chance to participate at the level that we are participating. And there's some folks that don't like that. And so they're bringing up all of this other stuff, which has nothing to do with anything.
I totally agree, and I only brought up the punk reference again, not knowing
Yeah,
who
I know. I don't
specific,
mind you bringing up. Yeah, no, you bring it up
but
because that's what people are talking about.
right, but the
I'm
other
glad you
shoe,
did.
or but the other parts of that is now approximately 2 weeks later, there was another major public event, and
Hmm.
this was the March on Wall Street that
Yes.
all of the mayoral candidates were invited to.
Hmm.
Now, the only one that attended was Kwame Mamdani,
Was
and
Zoran? Yeah.
he wasn't even scheduled to speak. But I guess since he was the only one, he was allowed to give
Well,
a few minutes at the mic. Now, and I'm telling you, I was there. I participated in the march. I heard all of the speakers. He got the most resounding response. Now
sure he
I know
does. Sure he
we
does.
can we
Sure he
can
did.
we can we can definitely say, oh yeah, he's inexperienced. Obama was inexperienced. What, 2 3 years in the Senate, and he ended up being commander in chief of the United States. So I mean, if that's the only critique we have of him is
Well,
the
but no,
lack
that
of
is certainly
experience.
that is certainly not the only critique. And I will say this, and it's true. Uh, they will never. Black people would never use the same yardstick to measure a black person. Eric has had 40 years of work. Now you mean because somebody who's a social media savvy person jumps up and says he wants to run, and because the liberal white media and young people, young gentrifiers get behind him and it's a social phenomenon, we're supposed to get caught up in that because he says he's going to make rent free, which he can't do as mayor. He says he's going to create municipal stores, which he can't do as mayor. And if he does do it, the only evidence we have of somebody who's done it is Kansas City, and they just closed that down. It was a dismal failure after millions of dollars of government money because he wants to put us in social housing. Well, you don't need to wonder what government run housing looks like. Just go to NYCHA. I mean, that's government run housing. And so he's talking loud and saying nothing. No, he's not only young, but he's inexperienced. He's had no job. His mother and father are wealthy people. They both came from very poor circumstances. Okay, they came from India. Okay, and they came to this country. He was born in Uganda. All right, he came to this country. His father became a professor at Columbia University, highly acclaimed professor at Columbia, which Columbia is a temple to capitalism. Were it not for capitalism, great Ivy League universities and world class universities would not exist. These are private institutions that rich people have created and founded. His mother is a great filmmaker. She is a tremendous, some of the greatest Indian movies you ever want to see. Salam Bombay, the Kama Sutra. I mean, she's a great filmmaker. Monsoon Wedding. I'll give her that. She's done great Mississippi Masala. But what does that have to do with him being mayor? He's born with a silver spoon in his mouth, as Eric called he and Cuomo, two brats. And so I am not interested in what a man says. I'm interested in what have you done. And so I would hate to say that if somebody was running against Herman Smalls or sa.neter that I had never heard about because they were articulate and charismatic, I would not say, well, everything these brothers have done for 40 years doesn't mean anything because of a flavor of the month. What has the man done? I can show you. I just enumerated what Eric has done. So the fact that he got the loudest applause doesn't surprise me. And I'll tell you why. Because black people don't have independent media anymore. We do because we have a lot of podcasts like this. But the average black person is sitting up all day listening to MSNBC, which is a white, progressive, elitist station of mostly white people, and the only black on there is Reverend Sharpton. Okay? And so we can't distinguish anymore. what's in black folks' interest and what's in the white progressives' interest. And that's a mistake because we had in the past WLIB, WBLS, WWRL, which told us what was in our interest. Now we're just mouthing the party line of the white progressives. And that is a mistake because their interest and their struggle is not ours. When I listen to the white right and the white left argue, that's basically two white groups arguing over who's going to dominate each other. But that still doesn't address African American empowerment. And so, yes, if you listen to MSNBC, they have anointed Zoran. And so I don't know what Reverend Sharpton's position is, but you can't forget he works at MSNBC. So he's not free from that dimension. Now, I don't know. He and the mayor have known each other as long as we have. So I don't get into that because whatever they're going to work out, they're going to work out. I have not known Reverend Sharpton to endorse any candidates, but he does at times favor candidates. But I'm not, black people don't need it. Reverend Al Sharpton has one vote like everybody else. Okay, black people have to decide, are we going to be the kind of people that once again have found a reason not to reelect a black mayor? Bill de Blasio wrecked this city. And I did not hear one of these black leaders saying we should not support him. When Mike Bloomberg tried to buy a third term, Bill Thompson was running. And I kept telling the black uh, elected officials, support Bill. No, he can't win. Bill Thompson did lose, but when the final tally was done, people were tired of Bloomberg. He only lost by 5 percentage points. What if the pastors had stood up with him? So I'm saying we have to look at what's in our best interest. And I don't care what anybody does. We know our own best interest.
You make very valid points, and I gotta just give one shining star. We still got open line,
Sure.
and brother Fatin
And that's
Muhammad.
true. And you're
Yeah,
right. You're
hold on.
right.
But you're
And
right.
and you know, I'm that's
We
right.
had many more voices, and you are correct. And these were
Yes.
voices. Now, I have come up with the term guerrilla journalism for what a lot of us, like sa.neter and other
Yeah,
brothers,
right,
who
right.
who will come out and without any journalistic training, but will provide a voice and a platform that we can do what we're doing right now. Speak about
Absolutely.
our issues. You mentioned right. Sharpton has one vote. All of us have one. But I'm wondering how much are we, or even with Brother Eric, the messaging has to be something that our people can resonate with. Now, I'm thinking, has there been some missed opportunities? Because again, I ran off a list of all the great things Brother Eric Adams has done, but I don't hear that replayed throughout any of the media. I don't hear those fine points being lifted. Even in our conversations, we haven't even mentioned that he was one of the founding members of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement. Now, that was one of the most radical movements at most the radical times when police
Yeah,
brutality and
but see,
police
but
murder.
those very young people you talk about, we've been struggling longer than Zoran has been alive. He's 33 years old. When did a 33-year-old privileged kid that grew up in a $1 million penthouse on the Upper East Side become our savior? I got shoes older than him.
Talk
So
about it, man.
I'm not looking. He can't tell me nothing. In fact, he can sit down in my class and I can teach him. So I'm
Mm.
not looking for some 33-year-old. The other thing is the DSA, the organization that he is in. It is a communist, socialist organization made up largely of white, left-wing people. You look at his go to my Facebook page, Conrad Bennett Tillerd. I posted all of his advisors, and all of these are rich white kids that come into New York, and many of them have gone to the top schools, and they have their own ideas about how city government and they're against capitalism and democracy, but they're not against. It's like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has three houses. Uh, 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 Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, her net worth has gone up exponentially. Cornell West and all these people talking socialism and making $1 million salaries, only teaching at Princeton and Yale and all these, because I'm tired of these limousine socialists coming to tell black people what we should want and what we should need. They can't speak for us. They have their own agenda, and it is to pimp the ignorance of black people and to get us riled up and promise us stuff that they can never deliver. We looked at this boy's assembly record. He missed 60% of the votes, and you can vote electronically. We got children 33 years old. My children are graduates of Howard, Fisk, Morehouse, but they don't have enough experience to become mayor. They're great at social media. So why are we now all of a sudden, this is not Fred Hampton. This young man is cosplaying, as the young people say, a
All
revolution.
right, your mic's down and messed up again. It just started.
The last thing he said, I heard what he said. But yeah, speak, Minister Tillerd, see if you're clear.
All right, yeah, see, it was probably on his way out.
Wow. Okay, well, the last point he made was the young people refer to what Mom Donnie is doing as cosplaying, meaning, playing a role and not actually being what you are alleging to be. But I got some more questions for him. So
Well, I want you to see, you know what? We should have started with him first, his history and all of that. That's what we should have started with.
You're right.
Started with that. I could probably get that on the next one. But no, let me ask you this, because this is where I want you to ask him too. What kind of card do you think Donald Trump was playing, right? What chess move Donald Trump was playing when, remember, Adams last weekend came up to the podium. He had a press conference and he said Cuomo outright. His first words was Cuomo was a goddamn snake. Now I'm saying goddamn. He ain't say that, but he said Cuomo was a snake. He like going right for the jugular, Adams. What do you think Adams meant by that? Because Trump was telling people, I think some message got out that Adam was coming to Washington to work with him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. A snake. Everybody know what a snake is, man. And what characteristics
Was they lying?
Oh no, I'm just saying. So he was clear, but guess what? Look how clear that messaging was, man.
Right.
He didn't need no posters. He didn't need no billboards, and that's what I'm hoping Minister Tillerd comes back. The messaging. Again, I'm supporting Brother Eric Adams, but the messaging, we gotta make sure our masses are clear what's going on, and we gotta identify these adversaries or these opponents, candidates, these folks that are.
You hear the question I said? What type of chess move was Trump pushing to make it look like Adam was coming to work for him in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, I think it was obvious if it was actual, because remember, Eric Adams said no, he was never approached by it. So remember, the media puts this stuff out here. We don't even know if that ever took place. But guess what? The story, what does the story do? The story undermines Eric Adams, right? It looked like he was cutting the deal. Just like when he got the pardon. Oh, yeah, he's going to be Trump's boy. So all of this stuff is working against the imagery Eric Adams is trying to send. Eric Adams said, hey, I'll work with you where I think we have a commonality, and I'm going to stand up against you being Trump when I don't. Now, I don't think there's been anything that he's opposed him on yet. And maybe that's just because coincidence, or maybe it could be a case where, I don't want to say quid pro quo, but I mean, Trump, and something I got to get Minister Tillerd back, because there's one particular comment that was made over the airways that I think there was a missed opportunity, that just like the fire Eric Adams had in calling Cuomo a snake, when Tom Homan, the supposed border czar, with Eric Adams sitting right next to him, said, yeah, we're going to work closely with Eric Adams. But if he's not clear on what we need to do, you remember what that white man said? He said, "Yeah,
Hold
we're
on,
gonna be right." I'm sorry.
brother Live. What are you talking about? They just released the body cam footage 2 months ago. What is he talking about, Smalls? You know what he's talking about, brother Live?
No, I can't see it.
Oh, it's on the screen. Brother Live said they just released the body cam footage 2 months ago. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't either, but I wouldn't have broke up the bill to read out
My
something
bad.
that we
My
have
bad.
no details
My
about.
bad. I thought he
Okay,
was gonna
so
go in on that. All right.
maybe we can restrain ourselves as
Yeah.
guerrilla journalists
Go
and
ahead.
let me
Go
cook
ahead. Go
instead
ahead.
of breaking the flow. You
Go ahead.
know,
Yes, sir.
you've been doing this long enough to know better. But anyway, but the
Yeah.
point I want to put on that, if we can get Minister Tillerd back up, this borders are sitting right next to our black mayor. Said if he doesn't toe the line, I'm going to be up his backside. This is what this white man said over these airways. And Eric, it didn't. Come on now. And now he tried to. Oh, that's just locker room talk. What damn locker room you in that you're going to let another man make any kind of reference like that to you? You don't play those verbal games. So my thing is, he had the messaging, and maybe I'm the only one that got hit. Remember, this is New York. Abdul Lawima. Remember what the police department was accused of putting that brother through? And now you're going to have our black head of state of New York, and you're going to even think a reference like that could be anywhere near appropriate, and then he didn't get checked on it. So again, the messaging. And one other, and again, I'm supporting my brother. One other critique: the first shot he took at Mamdani when he was coming out and appearing to be the next strong candidate, he went at him with, "Oh, he's anti-Semitic." So that's your first criticism. So what group are you going to hold down? What shot you going to take at him? And that's kind of on that APAC deal. So let me hold them down and let me throw that mud on him. So I thought that was a little disingenuous or not the wisest choice. Yeah. Now Conrad he got bars, and he's already shared stuff that I didn't even know. I didn't know he was from that level of that's almost extreme wealth. You got two wealthy parents,
Can
and
you
you
tell
grew
me?
up. So yeah, that does distance him from the common man that he appears to be or tries to present himself as running. Not that he
Can you?
can't be, but it
Can
doesn't
you?
come from any of his personal experiences. Your
All right.
personal experience has been nothing like ours. And
Can
I
you
yield.
tell me? Can you tell me what happened with the sister that was on his camp? Right. Oh man, the beer. Peace for beer.
Yes, I'm in Harlem. I'm going to the Schomburg.
All right.
But you can ask me something about the FBA.
All right. Got you. Got you. Got you. I'm gonna call you back. I'm live. I'm gonna get ready to end the show. All right. That's brother Sabir Bayer. He is in Harlem, and he will be over here to the studios. So we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him. Herman, I'm sorry I had to break that again. But I still want to ask you, what happened to the sister that was brought up on charges with her and her son for collecting money, brother? You know who I'm talking about? What's her name?
Now, so there you bringing something up I don't know anything about. What are you referencing?
How you don't know about this, brother? If you're Adams man, how you don't know about this?
Yeah, but you haven't given me any details to clarify. You don't know the name. You don't know the date. Oh, you don't know about this, man. How can you? How much do you know?
Somebody said that Conrad explained that. I was on the phone probably missing it, man. But how you don't know about that? It was the sister, the dark-skinned sister that always sits on his left side. It was two sisters he had between them.
Oh, sa.neter. His whole cabinet was bored. His police commissioner, his everybody, his chief of staff. They raided her home, took her cell phones in the middle of the night. The banks, him and his fiance, they raided them. Man, they treated them like they were part of the drug cartel, man. It was a stop and frisk for uppity Negroes. They went and raided their house like they were gang affiliated. But it was to make a point. And who sent that point? the Democratic administration under Biden and Kamala Harris, man. So that's why, and I get the politics thing, but at some point, and you know what, brother Nuri Muhammad said this. He said, if we ever put as much energy into replacing the system as we do in trying to repair it, we'll be okay, man. This is a filthy, low-down political system, and they've demonstrated that over and over again. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties don't have our interests in mind. Yes, you know, whoever gets in that seat, man, you're going to be beholden to
Is
that
this
1%.
Muslim that's running up against Adam, the young boy? He's a Muslim?
Now, I'm not sure about his religious faith, but I know his family comes out of India. He was born in Uganda.
Oh, okay.
Brother Minister Tillerd gave an excellent background on him. Gave me information that I had not. And he's right. You don't get into a position of power just because you're charismatic, just because you're social media savvy, just because you had the right connections or the right kind of money behind you. But
Brother Lodge said yes, he's a Muslim, so we can't have him in there. Yeah, we can't have him in this.
And the reason a Muslim couldn't be in there is why?
He believes in the Quran,
and that absolves him from leadership.
He's a Muslim, man. He don't have our best interests at heart, brother. He's gonna cater more to white people. See, where Adams tried to be fair with everybody. That's our problem. I think when we try to do that, we try to please white folks, you know, to say, see, I'm with you, I'm down with you. But when everybody else get in there, they make sure they look out for their people. What's the sister name? The Puerto Rican sister, the young girl. I think she's on the board of, she's light-skinned, she's Puerto Rican, or Dominican, one of them, but she makes sure she look out for her people, brother. We are the only ones that do that. When we get in, we want to be fair with everybody, but at least they look out for the majority of their people, and then they try to spread the love a little more so it can cover up what they doing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is she a congressman, a senator? You know her?
A congressman. Damn, what's her name, man? Young lady, young sister, pretty, light skin. She wears her hair long.
But sa.neter, let me mention an anomaly now. Now, you said we always look out, and for the majority, I guess folks do that, but check this out. Remember when Rudolph Giuliani was in there, right? You know, he shut down all 5 of the Italian crime families. He was the one that ran through all of them, broke up organized crime in New York, and they were all Italian. Now, you might say, oh, that was the criminal element that he was going after. So my point is this: whether you Muslim, whether you Italian, whether you white, or even black, we've had black representation that didn't hold us down the way we should have. I wouldn't put Eric Adams in that category, but so a religion, like you said, oh, he's a Muslim, he ain't gonna. I mean, I think Eric Adams is a Christian. I won't put that on him if he's not.
Yeah, I just don't trust no Muslims, man. No Muslims.
Okay,
no Muslims.
But if Eric Adams is a Christian, so then Muslims or Buddhists should say, oh, he ain't ever going to look out for me. So I'm not sure if that's really a valid point. Is religious, his youth, his inexperience, and wow, I didn't even know he missed 60% of his vote. How can you miss 60% of your votes when you have the option of doing it electronically?
And his father was in the mob. His father was in the mob.
Now, I don't know whose father, sa.neter, you're reading and you enter, and so I'm not sure. So we're kind of breaking up the flow now. So I'll let you get. Are you building on a comment somebody saying?
Yeah, Miss Nicole. Miss Nicole said his father was in the mob.
Now, who is the he? Is that Rudolph Giuliani?
Her name is Alexandria Cortez. Do you know who that is, brother?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. You see, when she came in straight for her people, helping her people, brother. And her people stands behind her. Whenever she come out, you can see her people right there. We don't have that. That's what we're missing. You know?
she did kind of have that. She was part of the squad. Her and three other senators, they were the new gunslingers in town. And yeah, they were kind of, making headway. But if you look at some of her votes, she gets as much APAC money as the rest of them folks, man. So again, man, it's corruption up to the eyeballs in both parties. So now we can uh I don't know, hallucinate that these people are going to represent us, or we can do what Mehdi say: keep their feet to the fire. We gotta be. We don't just put them in. Then we gotta demand that they do what they say. Yeah, okay, I get all that, but again, when Nuri said that, I forgot it was about a week or two ago. If we put as much energy in replacing this system as we do in trying to repair it, man. Jamal Warner, Cynthia McKinley. We've had some superstar politicians that got gerrymandered out or just foreign money, APAC money, but got behind somebody else. So how many times are we going to keep going in this system that clearly shows it will never serve us when their interest is on the other side of the scale, man? And maybe are we at a point where this is the only game in town? And that it's a legitimate question. Okay, what other options do we have? We better explore some. And even Malcolm said, revolution. What is that? What does that mean? What does that look like when you're trying to have a complete and total change? Because in many respects, that's what we need on multiple levels. We're still packing these prisons at insane numbers. We're still struggling under gentrification, being pushed out, as Minister Tillerd mentioned, in Brooklyn. Same thing going on in Harlem. Maybe not at the same rate, but yeah, man, it's getting harder to be wherever you are. When folks with money have an interest or an eye on your community, it doesn't take a lot to have you displaced. So we are going through it. Will we be able to elect leadership that will stem that tide? Let's see. Or once they get in, will they be allowed to stem that tide? So this is an old question, and we've been fighting and struggling with it for a good minute now, sa.neter. Remember, and Dr. Amos Wilson points this out. After Reconstruction, man, we had senators, governors, mayors. We had all of that stuff, man, until white folks got tired of it, or until they got an extreme enough element among them to take up arms to remove and terrorize us out of those. That's how we lost it. And then before that, they undermined those leaders. We know about the famous movie Birth of a Nation, and in that, they had the senators in Congress picking their toes, and they were eating watermelon before the vote. This was in that movie, man. So the mischaracterization and the negative imagery that's been pushed about our leadership has always been part of the drumbeat before some of these atrocities took place. And I dare say, man, they're revving that up again. I saw this thing on social media right before I came on. And I haven't researched it, but there was a Ukrainian, looks like a young lady, that was being physically attacked on a train, possibly a bus, but I think it was a train, by a black assailant. And the little thumbnail in the blurb said, "What did we do to not protect her?" We forget about the Willie Horton ad. Those buttons and that level of hate remains below the surface. We forget about the many massacres that's taken place. The last one to take place was less than 15 years ago, and that was in South Carolina. Tillerd assassinated 9 people in the house of the Lord as a statement. He was hoping to trigger a race war. So this mindset, man, there's another brother, I wish I knew his name. He's constantly giving reports about crimes against black people. There were 3 young black people assassinated by this young white boy. I wish I had more details, and I wish I could lift that brother's name. He's one of the few places that you can go and understand what kind of climate is taking place. And Donald Trump is stoking that, man. Don't forget, January 6th, they were beaten and brutalized and even killed police officers. And he pardoned all of them. He wants a standing army. He wants his brown shirts. He wants his SS. What do you think the National Guard is? He envisions them as his, he can send them anywhere to do his will. This is what this mindset is moving on. And we act like it can't happen here again. So that's why I want my people to really understand the kind of climate politically that's being ginned up, and this red meat that they're giving the right wing. And I don't do the right left wing when it's both on the same corrupt bird. Minister Tillerd makes valid points. He's right. The liberal and the other interests that are speaking and running MSB and NBC and CNN and a lot of these other major broadcast agencies, they don't have our best interests in mind. And I saw another verb in social media. Israel just bought CBS for $200 million. Why is a nation buying an American news network? So they can keep controlling the narrative. So unless you have platforms like yours and other guerrilla journalists that's going to take the time to have these kind of discussions about these kinds of topics, he mentioned the list of radio programs that we no longer have, the list of individuals that have been silenced or removed from our consciousness because they don't have a way to get their thoughts and ideas out. So we don't turn this tide, man. We need to turn to each other in ways that we may not have in decades, or the outcome. The Honorable Marcus Masai Garvey is on record with saying, when all else fails, the conditions will unite us. Well, brothers and sisters, the conditions are here. So if we don't turn to each other, start learning how to grow some stuff, start learning how to barter some stuff, start reclaiming our own health. Now, I tell you, the only shining star in the Trump administration, and I know I'm getting ready to get some flack for this. I know I'm getting ready to lose my black card, and I'm gonna be all kind of coons and whatever. But the only shining star
is you had a black card. Who said you had a black card? Well,
that's metaphorically. But the only is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., man. He going at this pharmaceutical industry, no holds barred. And I respect him for that.
Brother, he's a pseudo, man. Come on, man.
I'm sorry?
He's a pseudo, brother.
And now,
he's a straight up pseudo.
As in, please explain, he's a pseudo. Give me some background on that statement.
Brother, he be giving false information dealing with health and all that stuff, brother.
Now, what's so interesting, now I'm hoping you're not a victim of this, brother. I'm hoping you're not a victim. But listen to what Minister Tillerd said, one of the last comments he made before he bounced, is all we end up doing is parroting what this major media pushes. That's the imagery they're pushing of him. Now, of course, he doesn't have a medical degree. His trained profession is law. And but he's been an activist. Remember Curtis Carson? Do you remember Curtis Carson?
Of course. Come on, man.
All right. Curtis Carson and him been running for decades. And Curtis Carson do major work on exposing the negatives on vaccines and the whole
pharmaceutical. How come he ain't put Curtis Carson on? How come he ain't put him down? He get put down by Trump, and now look at that. He left Curtis Carson. Bring him in.
Oh, very true. Now I am still on one of Curtis. No, I think at least two of Curtis Carson's Substacks and one of his text links. He's regularly sending me things that they are. Well, when I say they, now of course this man is in the president's cabinet now, so he's not as directly involved in some of the projects, but they're still working together and interacting. Now, is he rolling up to the White House? I don't think Curtis has been invited there yet, but to the best of my knowledge, Curtis still has a major working and networking relationship with Robert F. Kennedy over those same issues related to vaccines, related to the pharmaceutical industry and the drugs that they push and the false information that
Hold on, Herm. Peace, brother Curtis. What's up, Curtis?
Yeah, how's it going? Good.
Yeah, we having a nice build right now, and we're talking about me and Herman. We live, so I want to let you know we live, and I want to know how come
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. How come he ain't called you on board yet, being that you are the master when it comes to the vaccines?
Well, I can't answer that I'm actually doing a forum for him this Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, I mean, he's not told me to do this. I'm doing this on my own. So I got doctors and scientists, and we're going to be talking about Mr. Kennedy, and it's mostly in defense of Mr. Kennedy because of all the attacks against him.
And where's this going to be, brother?
No, this is going to be a Zoom call. So I'm going to tape it and then make it available to the public like a day or so later. But I really couldn't really say, because he has to be very careful with the people that he puts on his team, because he's under tremendous scrutiny. Okay. And there are a lot of great people that could be on his team that, because, I mean, visually, he has to be careful with what he puts on, because they're going to attack everything.
Right. Once again, this is Brother Curtis Cost. All right. This is Curtis Cost, the founder, the author of Vaccines Are Dangerous. If you have that book in your house, this is the brother that we got on the phone. What's the other book you wrote, brother? What's the other name of the book?
Well, I've written a couple of books, but I wrote a book, What is Safe Sex in the Age of AIDS, and I wrote a relationship book. But my new book should be out in just a few weeks. My latest book is entitled In Search of a Good Black Woman. It's part of the first romantic comedy about this.
Yeah, I spoke to you about that. I spoke to you about that already.
Yeah, I have a trailer for it, and people pre-ordering the book, which is, for me, is unheard of. I never sold pre-ordered books, but it's very funny. In fact, we had a live performance of the story held in Manhattan, packed audience.
Man, and, you ain't called me to let me know, man. I would have came through.
Well, that was a couple of years ago, but they were laughing from beginning to end. And they even stood up and gave it a standing ovation.
Oh, wow.
So this is very good. It's very funny.
All right, I got Herman on the line. Hold up, brother.
Yeah, Herman,
you know Herman Smalls. Herman, you got any questions for the brother, real quick?
Peace, Curtis. What's going on?
Peace. How you doing? Yeah.
Good. I was just mentioning to sa.neter, because I told him the shining star, if one could be found in the Trump administration, has been Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And that's because of the positions he's taken on vaccines and all the major lies and misinformation that the pharmaceutical industry has been putting out. So, and I had to prefix that, because, folks, you don't want to say anything good about the Trump administration. But, I'm going to stand on business. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and that's how your name came up. I said, he's been building with Curtis for a very long time. So could you, now his recent encounter up on with the senators and how contentious that was. Do you have any insights as to the public? What should we gather from that, and going forward, what should we do related to how much controversy is being? Because now they're pushing, our children couldn't have gotten shots without going to school. They're still pushing, and I don't want to say too much to get sa.neter's channel in trouble, but what is the best advice you can give in the present climate?
Well, I would say people should be as supportive for Mr. Kennedy as they can. They can write letters to Department of HHS, which he's the Secretary of Health and Human Services. They can go to Children's Health Defense website and get information and share their thoughts with a quick email. I support Bobby Kennedy. I think he's helping people, things like that. And those will be transmitted to the right channels, to Mr. Kennedy and others. So the more support we can show, the less they'll be able to push him out of this position, which they're trying to do. Mr. Kennedy has stood by the Black community. I was right there with them. We did a movie on medical racism and new apartheid, and he's done so many other projects that most African Americans don't know about, that I know about some of them. He's a very strong supporter. His family's been a strong supporter. It was the Kennedy family that stopped the Tuskegee experiments. Most people don't know that. It was Ted Kennedy who stood in and said no, stood up and said no. No, you can't do this. And I remember one of the great speeches by Mr. John F. Kennedy. He's the one who sent in troops in defense of African American children who were being bused to some racist white schools. And Mr. Kennedy, he's been keeping up that tradition and fighting for our rights. And the vaccine issue is one of the biggest issues. through his organizations, he's funded programs like Vax movies, documentaries such as Vax 1, 2, and 3. And he exposed so the CDC knew that the measles vaccine given at an early age to African American boys, they had a much higher rate of autism. Nonetheless, they still kept giving it to young African American children. They told the doctors to destroy all the evidence that they had about the dangers of this vaccine to our children. But one whistleblower still put it out there, and Mr. Kennedy did help do a film on that. And he's been supporting the other films. You should look up Vax 1, 2, and 3, and you can find them on Children's Health Defense. Those documentaries probably make you cry, and then make you very angry because they go into great detail showing all the harm these vaccines have done to children, black, white, yellow, and in between. So these senators should get up there and make these ridiculous statements about vaccines saving the world. I mean, they should be under oath when they make those statements, because then they wouldn't be able to make those statements and get away with it. And I know because my first book on vaccines came out in 1991. So I've been doing this for over 30 years. And I know vaccines did not save the world from anything. In fact, in my book, my latest book, Vaccines Are Dangerous, came out in 2010. I showed detailed
charts. Hold on, Curtis.
Okay.
You're getting too deep, man. I don't want to get much on
okay.
You know how they scared to death of this real talk, brother. You know? But anyway,
not a problem.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring you in, and I got to interview you live. I can't have you on the joint like that, you know.
Sure.
So
anytime, you got my number. I'm available.
Peace and blessings to you, brother.
Also, hold on, real quick, Curtis. Brother Supernova is having not Supernova, but Nova Felder is having an event coming up. He sent me a flyer yesterday. Wish I had it, so sa.neter could probably throw it up. It's on health and other things. So he is looking for speakers. I don't know if he told you about it yet, but if not, I'm sending you that information, and maybe we'll be able to include it in the link. But brother, you got to get back up here. Your information and your resume. As you've already stated, you've been doing this for decades, but we need this information more now than ever. So hopefully sa.neter will be able to schedule you to come up soon.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace. All right.
All right, come on, Herman. What are you doing? You're asking them questions, man. What are you doing? You're asking them questions where he gonna go in. You know how Curtis do. But anyway, Brother Lie, hold on, Brother Lie. That ain't cool, brother, to put that on me, brother. That's not cool. Brother Lie said, if a man is not black, he is not for black people. That's the mindset of sa.neter. That's sa.neter's mindset. Shaking my head. Brother Lie, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's been black people tearing me down, brother. That's what I've been saying for the longest. It's been Negroes tearing me down, brother. So that's a false statement, brother. You know you don't like when people bring out false statements on you, Brother Lie. But that's wrong, brother. All right, but Herman, man, close us out, brother. Close us out, Herman.
Well, I didn't get to open with peace and Pan-Africanism, so I'm definitely going to close with peace and Pan-Africanism. We got to schedule Brother Minister Tillerd, and because he brought so much information to this topic, and this is what we need to hear. And your platform, your guerrilla journalism, is one of the few places we are losing places where we as a people can get unfiltered information about our situation, about what strategies and objectives we should have before us politically, socially.